Well, hello one and all, welcome to See Through Glass. Welcome to the quite fancy Hendy Renault Alpine showroom. If you don't know about the Hendy Group, it's been going over like 165 years. It's a family-run business, but we've got sites all over the place, I think over 20 different car brands, but we're here at their Eastleigh site, just outside Southampton, and as I say, in the sort of Renault Alpine department, because today, I think it's a big day. I'm primarily going to be focusing on this. This is the new Alpine A290. This is based on the highly anticipated, or much hyped, Renault R5. And essentially, think of this as the Renault Sport version of the R5. It's like the Clio RS. They've just kind of rebranded it all. Alpine is essentially what Renault Sport used to be. But I think it's then going to be more than that as well. It's still a little confusing, but essentially, this is the hot version of the R5. Of course, we've also had the A110, which we love and adore. There's the Formula One team. They've just launched the new A390, which is the family car. So Alpine's kind of role in the world is going to become clearer and clearer. But for now, I think this is up our street. For those of us looking to get into EVs that want performance and emotion and character and personality, this could be it. The French have historically been amazing at making great hot hatches, and the recipe for this thing, yeah, seems good. I mean, I think it looks bloody awesome. But I haven't even experienced the standard R5 yet, so before we can judge this thing, I need to experience that too. Today we're going to be driving them back to back. We're doing a bit of a sort of cliched seen through glass mission, not to get coffee, because both of these cars made in France. I thought instead we'd go and get croissants and maybe some other baked goods. So yes, join me as I find out if the reality can live up to the hype with both the Renault R5 and this mega looking Alpine A290. So here are the cars for today. This is Hendy's kind of demo car, so it's all stickered up. This is an A290 that they just got in. I think it's worth noting that actually, side by side, the R5 really holds its own. I guess later we'll talk about all the visual differences. I mean, the centre lock wheels on the Alpine are fairly sensational, but yeah, this thing still looks mega. But let's jump inside, because I haven't really had a chance yet to really get to grips with or experience one of these little cars, and oh, this is delightful. Look at all these materials and look at the screens. What's going on here? A reminder, these cars...
Hey, let me introduce myself a bit.
No, thank you. No.
Okay, no problem. You can call on me anytime by saying, "Hey Reno," followed by your command.
New cars are so annoying, aren't they? I mean, I don't really blame Renault for doing that, but go away, Reno. Like, I don't want you. No, he's back. Okay, fine. Oh, let's talk about good bits. Yeah, as I say, this material, the layout of the dash, these big old screens, for a mid 20 grand car, this is all quite lovely. The steering wheel, a few little stalks and things that I'm noticing that aren't great. A lot of buttons, that's a bit overwhelming, but I mean, actually, as nice and as exciting inside. Oh, not a lot of space in the rear. Let's remember to do a rear seat test a bit later. Oh, look at this roof lighting. Oh, there's lots to be excited about, but fundamentally, I want to see what this thing is like, how it drives. So let's bring him back. Hey, Reno, can you start the car?
I'm not sure which one you're speaking about.
Well, the car was singing, mate. You're useless. No fanfare, as with all EVs. Seatbelt on, let's rock and roll. Well, I've been driving the R5 for about 10 or 15 minutes now, and initial impressions are, it's very good. It's very lovely. I think you have to kind of know what you're signing up for when you get into one of these things. Because of the way it looks, because of all the hype, you may expect that it's going to drive differently to other electric hatchbacks, but no, it doesn't really. I mean, that is the problem, I guess, with EVs in general, is that they all kind of drive the same. It's quite hard to differentiate the sort of dynamic experiences. But Renault have done a great job with this car of leaning on their heritage, making you excited as you walk up to the car, keeping you excited as you step in. Like, there's plenty of things to look at and and things to make you smile. They've brought character and personality out of the car, not via the powertrain, which is historically where you would connect with a car, a V8 rumble, a 4-cylinder Poplar Wopple, does that make sense? I think so. I do like the steering. I think the ride is fantastic. It feels nippy. You can get this R5, I believe, in 120 horsepower or 150 horsepower form. And yeah, just on an everyday drive, it gets up and goes. You get some initial torque, then it kind of dissipates, but it's fine. There is a sport mode, which makes things a little bit more urgent, but it's a very nice driving experience. It's super quiet. The cabin does feel a little bit enclosed, like most hatchbacks, like it feels tight and sort of dark. That's fine. There's a few ergonomic things which I haven't figured out yet. The door card has this kind of sloping element which has the window buttons and the mirror buttons. It's digging right into my knee and it's quite uncomfortable, so I don't love that. And I can't quite work out my seating position yet because I feel quite high. The car feels tall even though it's small at least by modern day standards. So all in all, big fan. Like if you are looking for a small runaround electric hatchback, like this thing is a fantastic contender. Do I prefer it to the electric Fiat 500? I am an Italian man. I guess the Fiat 500 doesn't have as much, I guess, refinement or character as this. Like there's so many nice details in here, but yeah, to drive it, it's quite similar. Range-wise, got 87% charge, 182 miles of predicted range, which again, I think is fine. These little EVs, they just make sense. It doesn't, like, that's fine. It's totally fine. I think you can recharge these things in like 30 minutes. Hendy put this thing on charge this morning just to boost it up. Like, it's good. I have no complaints. So yeah, so far, so very good. But I've been following the Alpine A290 for the majority of this drive so far, and that thing just looks spectacular on the road. Like, it looks so cool. So I am still a little bit more excited to experiencing that. Well, we've now arrived into Portsmouth city centre, which is where the bakery I've chosen for today's croissant run is located. I will tell you that before we arrived into the city, we did find some quieter stretches of road, and we pushed on in these two cars, and this thing is really fun. I put it into sport mode and you can really throw it around. I know I said it wasn't that quick, or didn't feel that quick, but yeah, if you find yourself on a quiet road, don't worry, you will be able to enjoy this thing. Couldn't keep up with the Alpine though. I mean, depending on which versions of these two cars you get, there can be up to 100 horsepower difference, and in a straight line that thing just sodded off. So it is what it is. In addition to the door card annoying me, I've started to get a little bit annoyed by how many things there are in and around the steering wheel, even on the steering wheel. Maybe if I'd driven more Renault products recently, I'd be more familiar with some of this stuff, but I haven't found it that intuitive. It's taken me a bit of time to work out where everything is. And aside from that, yeah, well, I'm interested to see how much attention this thing gets in the city. You know, in our world, there's a lot of hype for the R5 and the Alpine, but do the general public care? I don't know. And this one in a little bit of a subdued dark blue spec, yeah, it's not a lot of people going like, oh, wow, which does happen in some cars. Happened in the Alpine A110, for example, all the time when that thing launched. There we go, that was a young human and he barely looked up, so, Anyway, we are 0.2 miles from the bakery. How exciting. How do you know you're in Portsmouth and not central London? We can find 2 parking spaces right next to each other very easily. Win. The bakery's just down there. We're going to be there in 2 seconds. Before we go, I need to work out how many croissants I can buy, or how many baguettes I can buy. There is an optional baguette holder that you can get for the R5. This car doesn't have it, so I'd be chucking them, I guess, in the rear. So let's check out the rear. I mentioned I've been a bit concerned about rear passenger space, and yeah, okay, this is, I'm 6'2". That was not easy. And now that I'm in, I mean, okay, it would be fine for a quick run to the bakery or the pub or the shops or whatever, but I wouldn't want to do a long journey in here. I guess kids, it'd be all right. So let's check out the boot. That's also going to be important for the baked goods. Oh, now that is good. Actually, I'm impressed there because it's deeper than I thought it was going to be. I don't know exactly how much you could get in, but it looks like a lot of suitcases, maybe even a pram, which is important for those of us who have children and things. That is good. I think most people compare this to like the electric Mini Cooper. I keep referencing the Fiat 500 electric because it's the only one that I've driven that's kind of like this. But yeah, that's fantastic. So lots of croissants can be bought. I thought we'd take 2 seconds before I now jump into the A290 GTS to kind of try and work out and spot the differences. By the way, you're going to notice this keeps happening. They have keyless entry and they're like hypersensitive, both of these cars. So I've got the keys in my pockets as well as the baked goods, and they're going to keep locking and unlocking. But I've already mentioned these center lock wheels. They're not actually center locked. I realised. I got very excited, but then there's the traditional bolts. It just looks center lock, which, you know, I'm not going to knock entirely, but still very cool. If we move to the front, I guess these are the most obvious differences. There you go, beeping. You've got these kind of rally inspired lights on the Alpine, which are very cool. I didn't actually think would make it onto the production car, but they did. Actually, the headlights in general different, front bumper slightly redesigned. It's kind of battery, visible parts of the battery or powertrain, I suppose. Up here, this one has the Alpine badge, that has the 5 for Renault. Let's try and work out what else is going on. You've got these kind of slightly more aggressively flared arches, which are in a contrast colour. I think these are specifically developed PSS5, Pilot Supersport 5s from Michelin, I think. Stop beeping, car. Obviously this kind of re-profiled or redesigned, firstly these side skirts, which are massive, but then these kind of strakes here, which are harking back to the Renault 5 Turbo, which obviously had actual intakes here, so it's a bit of a cool design feature. I'm guessing, I don't know if that's what it is, but there is a sort of spoiler here on the kind of boot lid, which is very noticeable when you're driving behind it, which is quite nice. I don't know, I think it's a great looking little car, but then as I say, you walk past it and the R5, like, it looks at home, doesn't it? Like, it just looks right and good, and yeah, Renault are doing good stuff at the minute with their design language. This was a very clever move, but I'm going to be saying goodbye to this car now and jumping in this thing, which, yeah, should be exciting. Ooh, now this is interesting and exciting. It's much more different in here than I thought. Usually with these kind of, you know, hot versions, they don't change much inside, but this is very different. We've lost the kind of slightly annoying gear stalk, and we have actual normal gear buttons, not dissimilar to the A110. The steering wheel, we've got an overtake button, we've got recharge, Manatino or switch, which I like. Yeah, and then obviously different textures and things like that. Oh, quite exciting. And this now says drive mode, not, what does it say in that? It says something like sense. I don't even know what it says, but that makes more sense. So yes, I am encouraged and pleased that they've changed enough in here to make you think it's different. Does it have a NAF sport sound? What if I go into like sporty mode? Sport. No, maybe I need to activate it somehow. Okay, cool. Down the coffee, eat the croissant, hit the road. Now, interestingly, driving out of town in this thing, it was hard to notice the differences between the Alpine and the Renault. Maybe the ride was a teeny bit firmer, maybe the steering a teeny bit heavier or more weighted, but very, very similar. So I thought, well, you know what I should do is turn off the bigger roads and give this car a chance to kind of, well, show its true colours. So I'm on what I would call as a classic hot hatch road, in the sense that it's just a random back road. Like, I've never been on it before, it's tight, it's twisty, it's narrow, but this should be where a hot hatch shines. And I've gone into sport mode, which has immediately firmed up the ride a little bit, and I've used this amazing steering wheel switch, which is so F1 inspired, to take the sort of the recharge or regen to well, its lowest setting. So now Oh my good Lord. Yes, we're flying. Okay, a bit of a jump here. This car's a bit too heavy to really jump, but into these corners, it gets so much torque steer. Okay, this thing is immediately way more engaging and a little bit psychotic than that R5. Okay, we're getting proper hot hatch feelings. Can you hear everything flying around? This is genuinely engaging. Like there's almost a bit, okay, big road. Good brakes. I think we've got the pads off the A110. Okay, I'm gonna take a left here. I don't really know where I'm going. I'm gonna follow this Corsa, try and launch him immediately. Yep, let's go. Whoa, the steering is so precise and sharp. I mean, yeah, those brakes are lovely and it's a very firm pedal, which I like a lot, and it just picks up and goes. There's a bit of movement. Oh, this is fun. This is proper little hot hatch fun, just with the sort of slight added weight and lack of real, you know, combustion engine soul, but they've added in some kind of noise, which I suspected they might. Oh no, this is great. This is great. And you know what it's done? It's taken what was already a great little car, the R5, and just added, dynamics. Yes. Oh my God, everything's going everywhere. Literally everything's going everywhere, but I'm genuinely having a good time here, people. I like this a lot. This I really like. This, you can actually know that when you end up on a road like this, you're going to be keeping up with the best of them, and my heart is racing. With the little Renault, like it was fun. This is good. Like this is really good. I like that brake pedal. The fact that you can start to play around with that regen. So let me dial the regen back up and see what that does in sport mode. How's that going to feel? Oh yeah, no, horrible. Straight away horrible. Dial that right back. But it's great that you can do that kind of stuff. Oh, this is a good little road for this car, as most UK roads should be for a hot hatch. Okay, this thing is great. This thing is great as a hot EV. This thing is really, yeah, quite delightful. Now it carries a 10 grand premium thereabouts over the R5. That is quite a lot, and it starts to make it sort of expensive. We're talking 36 to maybe 40 grand. I remember my Abarth Biposto record edition was like 38, and that seemed ludicrous. So it does feel a lot for what is still very much a hatchback with compromised rear seating, a decent boot, but you know, But if you take the R5, which was great and definitely worth 25 to 28 grand, and then add the performance, I wish it was like 32. 40 just feels, But I haven't even pressed the overtake button yet. I was getting a bit too narrow here. There's a big old overtake button which gives me some ultimate power delivery, I think ultimate horsepower. Let's see, is there a straight here? Let's find a straight. I need to use overtake, people. Oh, I like this little car. Well, we have safely made it back to Hendy. That was in question at one point because I started to realise, as I pushed on, the torque steer on the Alpine is insane. Of course, electric vehicles sort of instant torque. So when you're powering out of a corner, it's like, sort of fun, and maybe you'd get your head around it after a while, but it's a hair-raising experience. It's a fun experience. It makes your heart race and it puts a smile on your face. Is it the greatest driver's car ever? Arguably not. At which point, I think the R5 just makes more sense because of that somewhat or near 10 grand price difference. That thing is full of character and personality, and it does the job perfectly. If you're really looking for a track weapon or something to go and really hurtle around back roads, I think that's good enough. And at 38, 40 grand, I think there's lots of other cars, maybe some with petrol engines, that I would choose. Depends what you're looking for and what you need. This is a great, fun EV. So if you're determined to have an EV, maybe it's a lot of money, isn't it? It does look cool. I don't really know where I'm at with all the things. All I would say is the hype for the R5 is real. Don't expect insane driving dynamics, but character, personality, cuteness. Even Ben, the videographer behind me, drove that back and was like, it's nice, isn't it? Got out of the Alpine and he was like, meh. So maybe that tells you everything that you need to know. Anyway, thanks and shout out to Hendy for letting me come and have a go in their demos. If you want to come and check these cars out, you can get in touch with them. They do have loads of dealers all over the place, so I guess I'll put a link below. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Which way would you lean, R5 or A290?